Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everywhere around the world, Chelsea fans. This is your daily content live stream. Chelsea news, Chelsea transfer window, of course, has officially opened a few days ago. We've got some big ones, we've got some signings already for Chelsea. I want to get into, of course, my co-host today, Matt. How are you, first of all?
Yeah, I'm excited to be back on the stream, talking to some sensible Chelsea fans, unlike the majority of Twitter. It does my head in. But yeah, it's good to speak to some interesting people.
Well said, well said. Carlito, man, how are you, man? Long time. Obviously, you got a lot to speak. Definitely, for sure.
Thank you, Sadiq. No, man, I'm just sitting over here in Utah thinking about Carne Chukwuemeka. You know, I used to go around futsal arenas trying to scout players. You know, and I remember the excitement that I would get when I was around 25, 26 years old, and I would see a player and I would say, "Oh yeah, I need to sign him. Oh yeah, this player's got the goods," and I would sign that player. And I felt the same about Carne Chukwuemeka when I first saw him play. But now that I've seen him against the best team in the world, guy's got, the biggest balls in the room, no fear, plays like he's got nothing to lose. I personally want to make sure that we talk about him today because I am so thrilled to have him at Chelsea. But I'm thrilled to be here as well. Love Sindra, love Alfred. Matt's great. Sadiq is okay. And cheers to WorldWideChels because this is going to be a banger.
Let's go, people. Let's go. Everyone tune in as well. Like the video as always. We've got Alfred as well in the building who wasn't sure whether he's coming on today, but he has always committed to the channel, man. How are you?
Yeah, I'm very well, thanks. I actually surprisingly enjoyed our game against Manchester City more than I thought I would.
Me too.
I honestly thought that we gave it a good go considering who we were playing and the form that we're in. I think the lads, put in a good performance for themselves. Unfortunately, more bad luck, hitting the post. Of course, more injuries because it just wouldn't be a Chelsea game without a fucking injury or two.
10 injuries. 10 injuries.
10 injuries.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, fucking ridiculous at this point. But
yeah,
I'm good. Thank you.
Yeah. Well said. And lastly, Mr. Syndrome, man. How are you, man?
What up, people? I'm good. I agree with what Alfred said. I feel like the City game was like a turnaround from the Forest game. Like, we played pretty well. Like, we put up a really good fight against City, even though we got two attacking-minded injuries, which I think affect us a little bit really early in the game. Like, I think Sterling went off after 4 minutes and Pulisic in around 20-25 around that time. That's not ideal. But yeah, it was an enjoyable game, and I can't wait to see who plays tomorrow and how we're gonna fare against them. Because if we keep like the game was a game of two halves, in my opinion. We were better than City in the first half, and then City were better than us in the second half. But of course, people talk more about the second half because that's where the goal came from. Then they talk about the first half where we actually were the better team.
Yeah, definitely. I just want to say as well, just very quickly, RIP to Vialli, of course. I believe he was the first player manager as well for Chelsea.
Yeah,
or in general.
Fun player too, man. Really good
Definitely.
player.
First Italian to manage in the Premier League as well.
Yes.
And,
very exciting times.
From what I like, he was like before I was born, but from what I heard, he was also the first manager to manage us in the Champions League as well.
Yeah, he won like an FA Cup as a manager as well, man. That was a killer.
He's actually the most successful manager in terms of trophies at Chelsea, apart from
yeah.
He's the second most. Jose is the only one that's more successful than Vialli.
Outside Mourinho, and to think that was before Roman's big bucks as well.
Yeah. And people don't say Chelsea have a history.
That's what another day.
That was a truly set. I mean, I never got to watch it live, but I've watched countless number of videos on 98-99 season, 97-98 season. That was a sexy team.
Yeah.
No doubt.
It shits all over this current team that we've got completely.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, well.
Here we go. Here we go.
I think a lot of Chelsea teams do, to be honest.
Like I wouldn't say this team we currently have, in my opinion, is not even top 5 teams in the league. Like, and I feel sorry for Potter as well, because like to have 10 injuries to pick from, of course it's a difficult time for him, because he can't put out a regular team, like the team that he wants to have to play regularly, that can get some run of games. And yeah, of course we're gonna struggle when we have 10 injuries, and many of them are to our first team players.
Yeah, look, let's call it for what it is, right? The man has come in one of the fucking worst and most confusing times in the club's history. New ownership, new new staff, all these new players coming in. Like you said, fucking millions of injuries all the time. It's just, I honestly feel sorry for the man. He is copying way too much from this absolutely stupid fan base.
Yeah. Hey, Alfred, do you mind if I piggyback on what you just said?
No problem.
Okay. So, number one, Sadiq, I have to ask you a question. It's not a rhetorical question. It's not a condescending question. Do the players that you put out on the field matter?
Yes.
Okay. So you have a formation. I think Potter's formation is a 4-2-3-1. Potter's philosophy is that he wants to switch a ball quick. He wants to play fast. He wants combinations of final third, which are very hard to teach, but he's emphasizing those. I get what he's trying to do. I get it. But if you do not have the personnel, then it's very difficult to execute your vision, to exercise your vision, to say, hey, man, like, I want to do this. Okay, well, I'm not shitting on Amari Hutchinson, but he's a fourth-string player. That's an American term, but he's a fourth-string player. Okay? He had to play Amari Hutchinson yesterday. All right? He was fine. He was a little scared, but he was fine. He cut in too much.
He was scared.
He cut in too much, but it's fine. It's fine. He didn't make any glaring mistakes. My point is simple. He has 10 first-team players that are out. And I am not making excuses, Sadiq, Alfred, Sindra, Matt. I am not.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I swear to God,
I mean,
if this fucking fan base is going to say, Potter out, we need a new manager, what are you talking about? How is another manager going to make this team play any better than they did against Man City? And I actually think we played pretty well, considering the fact that our best player is out. Our best player is out. And a bunch of other first-team players are out. I don't know what you expect us to do. I don't know what you expect. Shut the fuck up. I don't know what you expect us to do. And I don't know what you expect Potter to do when our best players are out. This is ridiculous. This Potter out nonsense. This fan base is just stupid. It's stupid.
Carlito, I want to run it back as well quickly. You said key best players, you said. So obviously Reece James. Yes. Who else do we add on that list? Do we add Kante? Do we add Mason Mount? Who else?
I'm adding Ben Chilwell to that.
Yes.
I am adding N'Golo Kante to that.
Are we adding Mount?
I would even.
I am adding. Well, he asked, so I'm going to answer. I am adding Wesley Fofana to that.
MM.
And
like Mason Mount can be important.
I'm not adding Mason Mount to that because I don't think he's very good, Sadiq.
Like when he has his day and when he is on his element, he can be a good player, especially when he plays that number 8 role. Apart from that,
what does a number 8 role even mean?
Like offensive midfielder. Like
that's not what an attacking midfielder is. Number 10 is an attacking midfielder. Number 8 is someone that goes box to box.
I do want to add something, Carly, sorry to cut you off.
No, cut me off all you want, man.
Bro, one thing I did really like is that when we played officially a 2-man midfield of Zakaria and Kovacic, Kovacic was the one that took the risks in passing forward to Havertz, who came a bit deep to try and open up something. I've not seen that in a
Sadiq, then
while.
it wasn't a 2-man midfield. It was a 3-man midfield.
Yeah,
because
but
Havertz was playing attacking mid.
but you know what I mean. He came in deep. Though.
No, I hear you. Yeah.
He came in deep to turn and try and make something happen. I think that's not something that we've seen at Chelsea for a long time, in my opinion.
So what you're saying is that Mason Mount's not capable of doing something like that because he's not creative. Is that what you're saying? Because you just set yourself up for the fact that Mason Mount was asked to do those things and he can't do them because he's not athletic enough.
Yeah.
Sorry, bud. You just.
I mean, that's a good way of putting it, I guess, because Mason Mount does need to improve, but it doesn't mean that he can't improve.
He can't improve on athleticism. He can't improve on athleticism. That's God given, man.
How much is more athletic?
But the vision, to pass, to make that pass, I'm sure he can improve on that.
I'm sure that he wants to.
Yeah. Everyone tuned in there, man. Everyone tuned in, like the video, man. We already got 22 likes so far. Let's get it to at least 50 likes, at least. Subscribers all. Hit the notification.
Hey, you didn't ask Matt Ball how Matt Ball is doing. Matt Ball, how you doing, buddy?
I mean, he went off camera. I did ask him.
He asked me first.
I asked him first.
It's too early over here, man.
What's the time over there?
7:30.
What, in the morning?
Yeah.
Damn, you are committed, man. Because you was working an hour ago.
I mean, I'm part owner, Sadiq. I have to be committed. It's kind of part of the deal.
That's what I like to hear. Let's get into the transfer news now. Of course.
Yeah, let's do it.
I mean, we didn't stream for a week. We didn't get to speak about Enzo Fernandez, which was an absolute nightmare of events for sure.
It can still happen. It's but
not gonna happen.
You never know.
It's not.
Sadiq saying it's not gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen.
Is that right?
Let's be honest, guys. It's not gonna happen.
Well.
It's not done yet.
It's not done yet.
I thought it was here we go at one point, or I thought I saw Fabrizio saying something like, "Just this has to be done," and then here we go. Like
it was just the transfer fee that was left, I think, for the transfer to be completed.
No, bro, we gave everything verbally that we're gonna do everything, and then we've gone in
85 million.
Yeah, it's maybe we come back again. Maybe we do come back.
It kind of reminds me of the Hull. It kind of reminds me of the Holland saga, like last summer, when it sounded like we were gonna go completely in, and then we didn't. And look at it now. The guy has more goals than our entire club, or all of players combined in the league. Only just by one goal, but it's still more than the entire Chelsea team.
Well, I mean, Fraser, despite being a Man City fan, actually makes a good point. Bowley apparently has made a lot. Bowley seems to be giving a lot of promises to players, and then completely not going on that. I mean, he promised that we'd go back in for Alvarez straight away. That has seemed to gone completely out the window. He promised Enzo that he'd go in for him, and now he's lowballing, and God knows what's going on with that. We still haven't secured the Zakarian thing yet, and that's gone completely quiet.
By the way, also the next topic that we speak about, as you can see in the image on the background, Vardel's or same thing was a promise from Bowley that we're going to be going in. He's actually said it.
Hey, Sadiq, can I push back on this a little bit?
Yeah.
So promises to Enzo, promises to Alvarez. I know Alvarez is not done, by the way, so that may still happen. All these journalists are saying Chelsea did this and that. Actually, Chelsea has not officially said anything. It's the journalists that are promoting and propagating the conjecture and the speculation. It's not Chelsea, because if Chelsea was saying something, they would say something. This is the journalists and the pretend journalists and the YouTube pundits that think that they're journalists when they're not. Those are the people that are lying and pretending that they, have sources like the fucking DoorDash driver to Cobham. It's not a source.
Carlito, I do want to defend maybe one aspect of.
Okay, well, I'm going to say that you should probably not defend everybody else, because the people that are saying that they know, they're lying. I know what a source really is, and I know what a source is not. And the people that are saying that they have sources in Cobham and Chelsea, they don't. They're lying. So they're flat out lying.
Listen, I totally agree with what you're saying because I was speaking to you on that night about all of this as well. The bit where I think they definitely got wrong, especially this Felix little guy was.
Oh, you talking about Felix Johnston? Oh, the guy that was promoted by Simon Phillips. That guy. That guy.
He said Don.
Is that the guy you're talking about? The guy that said he would no longer talk about Chelsea first team if you got it wrong. Well, guess what? You got it wrong. So fuck off.
Listen, he said done deal, which I think was a mistake.
Unbelievable.
But I do believe the installment breakdown verbally was going to be that route. What he said, I do believe it was going to be that.
Okay, so when I talked to Ben Jacobs says that was never on the table. What are you talking about?
It's a bit mad. Dude.
Okay, got it.
But listen. Not just this Felix guy. Fabrizio was saying these things as well. All these guys were saying.
You're right, but what I'm saying is that they don't know because they're not in the room. Do you think Christian Vialli allows these guys to go in the room? No.
Of course not.
Okay, so then how would they even know?
Some information is given back to these sources, of course.
Okay, but what sources? No. Look, I am going to push back on this because I am so very pissed about this. And I don't mean to dominate the stream, but I'm going to with this particular aspect. All right? Look, if you're part of Vialli's team, a team that he hired, a team that he's been paid a lot of money to be entrusted to hire, if you're part of that team, you are not leaking things to journalists unless the team wants you to. You're certainly not leaking things to journalists if the team doesn't want you to, because if they do, you will be not just fired, you will be sued. That's corporate espionage. It's not just betraying your team. You're leaking secrets that the team doesn't want you to. So I'm sorry, these journalists do not have access to the board. They do not have access to the bill. They do not know what they're talking about. This is conjecture. They are speculating, nothing more. I'm sorry. But the DoorDash driver to Cobham that delivers Nando's to Reece James every Friday night, yeah, that's not a source. It's not a source.
what about when they press the player to want to move to Chelsea?
Say again?
What about when the board, what about the information when it comes out saying that the player doesn't want to be at Benfica, they want to move to Chelsea, and that's because of
that is a leak. That is a leak that is manufactured by the club.
Okay, cool. Carlito, they did, according to Benfica coach, they turn Enzo's head, promise to pay, release clause, then negotiate, stop defending both because you're American.
Says who? Says Benfica? Sure, I'm sure they said that. If Benfica concedes, the release clause is going to be huge. If Chelsea loses, the release clause is going to be low. All right? You have to make sure you understand what PR is going on and where it's coming from.
Yeah, I mean, look, does anyone here think we're going to go back in for him and actually sign?
Yes, absolutely, yes.
Really?
Yes, Enzo, it's not done. It's not done.
I do think it's not completely done because I don't think Chelsea and I don't think Vialli is that stupid just to go in for this one bid, knowing that Benfica have just bought this player. They have no obligation to sell him. They have, apart from the release clause. So just to come in just for this bid would just be a bit of just wasting your time. Mm-hmm. So I feel like it's let's see if we can get this, and then as it goes towards the end of the window, Chelsea might start going up and up and up, or Benfica may cave. I think it's the former, not the latter, because Benfica don't need to cave unless Enzo Fernandez goes on an absolute piss
tantrum,
completes throws bombs everywhere. But yeah, I at the moment I just don't want to speculate on players that are not here because
it's fair.
I just think I'm getting fed up of it. I said I think to Carlito or someone before, I prefer the old days when you had no information apart from the newspaper, and you just wait. But you just wait for you'd wait for the player just to hold up the bloody shirt.
Sadiq, I think that Matt should have been a 70s baby
in any signing.
Yeah, like I completely agree with Matt there. Like It is so much more fun when you just see and don't know what happened. Like when that Chelsea just signed someone out of the blue and they go on to do well. Like that's like because of social media and all rumors and stuff, it's so much more easy for fans to get insights about the transfer that are going on. And I like it a bit like, okay, we can see what is going on in Chelsea, but for example, when Marina and them were in charge of the transfers, we never knew who we were going to sign eventually until we got see a player with a shirt up. And I am too young, but I would have appreciated if it
You
still
are
were
very
that
young.
way.
You
Yeah,
are
yeah.
very young.
Yeah.
But listen, I do agree with you guys.
Yeah.
I just remember like what
Yeah.
10, 12 years ago, I just watched Deadline Day, Sky Sports. They actually had decent sources where they get certain information. They had a yellow tie on for Deadline Day. It was special. It was one to
Yeah.
watch all the time. Now
Hey.
it's just Twitter.
Like,
Twitter, you read this, read that, and it's
Yeah.
like
Go ahead,
Torres.
Alfred. What do you got?
Fernando Torres out of nowhere.
Yeah, oh yeah, that was a banger, huh?
that was a good one.
that
That
was a
was
really good
very
one.
good
Hey,
one.
to be fair,
Well, that was-
he weren't the worst transfer we
Dude.
got for the fee, maybe at that time, but I still think he was a little bit like overrated.
Sindra, I was 22 years old. I went to the official site. I bought a long sleeve. The Samsung was the sponsor
logo.
at the time.
Yeah, I know.
A blue long sleeve Fernando Torres jersey. I wore it every single time that I went to futsal on the west side. And I went to futsal on the west side every night, baby. So I wore that shit every night. I had long blonde hair. They called me Torres, bro. Because I was the only white boy there. No, I loved the Fernando Torres deal. I still think he was a good player, by the way.
Yeah. Like, can I ask a question then?
Sure.
Like, who do you think are the worst transfer? I know he's still just recently new.
Lukaku.
No.
Because
I was talking about Darwin Núñez or Núñez to Liverpool or Torres to Chelsea. Who would you say? I know Núñez has just been here for about 6 months, but he's 8 big chances missed from breaking Robin van Persie's record for the most missed chances in a league season, and he still have 21 games left in the season.
Okay, well, I'll answer the question. Fernando Torres dribbled Valdez. He dribbled Valdez, and he got us to the Champions League final. So the worst transfer, Darwin Núñez. Darwin Núñez sucks, dude.
And he also cost 25+ million more than Torres did.
He cost 50 million more.
Torres
Darwin Núñez cost $100 million.
I am dollars, but I was talking about pound. Yeah, maybe
pound. I got you. No. Fernando Torres is a Champions League winner, so there's no comparison.
And he was. I think he was also pretty. Sorry, Alfred. I also think he was pretty good under, like the first season. When Jose returned in 13-14, I think he was pretty good that year as well.
I agree. I mean, I liked him. People hated him, but I thought he was pretty good. He wasn't great.
And he was kind of overused in the way that he pick up an injury in the 2010 World Cup and still played for Spain, and therefore it kind of hampered him even more with his speed and acceleration, and therefore he wasn't the same player when he returned to Liverpool.
All right. Sadiq, what do you got?
Yeah, I think he needed to do something.
I think he's gone for a few minutes, but I just wanted to add to what we were saying about Torres and winning the Champions League. Being a Champions League winner. A lot of people maybe overlook this because it was Mata that delivered the cross, and then obviously Drogba that delivered that freaking bullet, absolutely gorgeous.
Oh my god! Yeah.
But it was Torres's decision to actually get that ball out for a corner right in that moment that led to that happening. Right? He could have tried to take on a few players and get in the box and pass or take a shot from somewhere or but he thought, what the hell, very little time remaining. I'll win us this corner and let's see what happens. And next minute, bang, biggest moment in Chelsea Football Club history, or one of, So
Yeah,
yeah.
like I completely agree. And one player you also mentioned there, I wish who never fell out on with Mourinho was Mata. Like he was probably the best creative midfielder with Özil at the time, and Di Maria, I think at the time.
Hey, can we address this? I'm sorry, but I just don't believe a word from Ben Jacobs. So if you're putting your faith in him, you're foolish. Foolish. And we might go in again for him. Okay, so number one, Ben Jacobs never said that anyone was going anywhere. He wouldn't, because he's a credible journalist that is not interested in being first. He's interested in being right.
Mm-hmm.
I would know that because he quite literally told me this. So, yeah, I don't believe a word from Ben Jacobs. If you're putting your faith in him, you're foolish. Richard Evans, person that wrote this, words do matter. They do carry consequences. Just ask Donald Trump because those words actually do matter. And him saying people go to the Capitol and try to stop an election. Yeah, guess what? They have consequences too, bud. So, yeah, don't be talking frivolously if you don't actually mean it. I have a lot of faith in Ben Jacobs because guess what? He is not committed to saying Enzo Fernandez is coming to Chelsea. He never did. I'm sorry that a lot of other journalists like Matt Law said that he was coming to Chelsea. Matt Law, who was in hiding since the summer because he fucked up so profoundly in the summer about the same type of transfer nonsense. He said again, Enzo Fernandez was coming to Chelsea. Okay? This is not Ben Jacobs. This is everybody else. He's the antithesis of unreliable. He is reliable. So get out of here with that nonsense. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
KJ, what's up, dog?
Yeah. It's your boy, KJ. You know what we're saying? I was waiting for that racist Carlito to introduce.
Oh, this guy.
Oh,
Yo, my man, aren't you too busy watching Marvel movies and tweeting about it, my dude? Scarlett Johansson, is she coming back? Who knows?
How you doing, KJ?
Talk to me, KJ. What's going on, dog?
I know I'm good. Despite Chelsea's shortcomings, I'm really good. You know, some positive signs.
Yeah, I mean, dog, when you look that handsome, how can you not be good? Life is always going to be good.
Yeah, say that one more time.
I mean, you are that handsome. I'm not even going to lie. Get out of here.
Oh, my God.
Who allowed him the sound effects? Who allowed him the sound effects?
Hey, it gives a new vibe to the stream, though.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
No, hey, KJ, dog. I want to talk about one player in particular. His name is Carney Chukwuemeka. He's got cornrows. He's what?
He's
6'2".
Nigerian.
He's a baller, and
He's Nigerian.
Is he? He's Nigerian? No shit. Okay. No, but no. Look, I said, dude, this player and Matt Ball. I want you to comment as well, dude. I think this player runs circles around Mason Mount. Circles.
Oh, 100%. Oh, 100%. That's not even a question worth asking. You don't even need to ask anyone that. I don't care how much you rate Mount. Carney Chukwuemeka has got technical ability. He's got techers. He's got skill.
Speed.
He's got speed galore. Oh my days. This guy is literally everything you need, and at least a number 8. Everything.
Yeah. And he was playing wing. Go ahead, Alfred. He was playing wing.
I was just going to add to it and say that he's hungry. He shows that he wants to play, which is what we need right now in this team.
Yeah, I mean, Alfred, let me ask you this. I mean, you got a lot of players that are on this team. They're getting paid to be on this team, but do they have the mental fortitude to be on this team? You look at Carney. I mean, Carney's comments after the game, he's like, yeah, I got nothing to lose. You know, I'm not some soldier in the Ukraine war, 18 years old, asking to, die for his country. You know, that's something to be really nervous about, right? Like if you got bullets flying over your head, that's a real concern. He's like, nah, bro, I'm a footballer. I'm a millionaire. I'm getting paid to play football, getting paid to play a child's game. I got nothing to lose. I'm out here having a good time. And you can just tell, Alfred. You can just tell. He's like, I'm not worried about this. I'm out here balling. I'm Lewis Hall, same thing. I'm not worried about this. this is fun, dog. I get to play for Chelsea. I'm enjoying this.
Absolutely, and so many of these players don't appreciate playing for this club, and that's what pisses me off, and it pisses off a lot of our fans, and that's why so many of them want so many of these guys gone. You know, we haven't seen the heart and determination and appreciation required to play for this club from a lot of these players. You know, it's been very, very heartbreaking to see. And Carney, I gotta be honest, from the moment that I saw him play for the first time, I have wanted him to play every single possible game.
Unfortunately for that, he got injured, but he's back now, and I think he's also put on some muscle and weight, so he looks more physical as well.
Yeah,
Matt,
Matt,
what do you think? Go ahead, Matt.
I have liked Carney every time he stepped on the pitch. I think he is technically gifted. I watched him quite a bit. Well, I generally just happened to watch the under-19s Euros, and before Chelsea even linked to him, I said this guy looks really good. He was alongside. I was expecting Harvey Vialli to do very well, but Carney kind of just took it and ran with it. And Harvey Vialli was good, don't get me wrong, but didn't look nothing compared to Carney. So I don't at this point when we're not playing well, we're probably not going to do anything meaningful in the league. I don't regard top four as being massively meaningful. It's an achievement to get extra money in the bank, but to me, if you're not winning the league, there's no points for second place.
Yeah,
that second place medal that gets thrown in the bin.
I kind of agree.
Like
I kind of agree with that.
I would play. I'd give Carney some games. I'd give Lewis Hall some games. I'd give, if Santos is staying in the first team, I'd give him a few games. I'd give Fofana, who depends on if they're staying out or going out on loan. Any of the young signings we've made some games.
Yeah, but Matt, we're not doing Carney a favor by saying, "Hey, man, here's some games." I think he's legitimately a player that should perhaps.
Yeah,
start.
I mean, personally, I think Carney. I've seen enough.
Like he is definitely good enough.
Even with Lewis Hall, I think I've seen enough from Lewis.
Yeah.
That I think consistently, potentially he gets game time.
Yeah.
I would like the thing with Lewis. I would like to try him in the midfield because I know everyone is saying he's a good wing, but he's good at wing back and all that. But left, that is not technically his position. That's just the position he's shoehorned in because that's where we fit him in. But his natural position is midfield. So I would like to potentially in a game, maybe against a Southampton or something when we're winning, just drop him into midfield and see how he does in midfield. Because I just that's something I haven't seen in terms of all the unanswered questions about
Matt. I don't think that if he has to play midfield, I don't think he'd be on Chelsea. So honestly, and I don't mean to be a detractor of what you just said, but I do feel like because he's playing left wing, left back, left wing back, I think that's the reason that he's getting minutes. I don't think it's because he's a good midfielder.
No, I mean, I just in the odd game, I just like to see.
Fair enough.
Because at the moment where our midfield is fucking shite, I think anyone could do it at the moment.
Yeah, but if Andre Santos comes in and balls, which I know he will, I don't think Lewis Hall's going to be
that's all. I just like to see. I just like to see it, and then if it doesn't work, that's fine. Even with Hutchinson, I don't think he played bad. I think he played a bit safe, which I don't think safe is a bad thing, especially when your first game in men's football is Manchester City. It's not exactly you're getting thrown into the fire a little bit, but I would like to see him get some more games. If he goes out on loan, like some people have said he should, I don't mind that either because it's consistent game time potentially. Depends on what loan. I'd like him to go to a quite good attacking team. I don't want him to struggle. I don't want him to go to someone like some shit defensive team that's not where he's not really going to actually progress. I want him to go to a good, even if it's somewhere like in Portugal where he's going to a upper mid-table team in Portugal that attacks and plays good football. That's what I want to see. To get game time, get consistent game time, and improving his ability rather than going to what Burnley used to be and just sitting there and counter-attacking all shit like that. But I think this is the time to play these kids. And I'm not let's just play every single fucking youth player. If they're good enough, they play. If they're not good enough, then you go on.
Syndra's dying to talk. What do you guys
think? I completely agree with what Matt is saying. That Of course, we're sitting 10th in the table. Like we're over 15 points behind the top spot. Like we're not gonna get, I think, top 4 this season, and I don't think, like Matt said, it would be nice to get top 4, but feel like we have the Chelsea supporters have been kind of spoiled with how the success came with Abramovich and stuff, like how we just paid money and then we got immediate success with it. Like, of course, success is fun and we want the best for our team, but we can't expect every single game or every single season that we have success. Of course, there are gonna
Why
be
not?
some struggles.
Because life doesn't work like that, Sadiq.
Yeah, life is up and down. Like we had a share of fun and glory in the league and in Europe and in the cups, but now we're gonna have to struggle because we don't have Abramovich anymore, but we still have a really good owner. Our players are the same as 3-4 years ago. Some are new, but it is an improvement from our transfer windows. It's not an improvement. Of course, we won the Champions League, but I feel like that was more on how Tuchel set the team up and how we got the mindset of the players to go. So I would say let back Potter and let him have some risk with who he plays. Like play some of the youth players like Lewis Hall and Chukwuemeka some more when we can, and let him experiment with the team and do what he can to get the season back on or try to turn the season around. Of course, it's easy when we, like we said earlier in the stream, have 10 injuries to work with. But maybe I would agree. Give Hutchinson, like, yes, of course, he wasn't good. He wasn't bad, in my opinion, against City. But give him to game time if Ziyech doesn't perform and doesn't do well. Like now, both Sterling and Pulisic are out, so give him a shot at the team, in my opinion. We just need to try something new, freshen it up some more.
Sadiq, what do you got?
Look, I see what you guys are saying about not winning all the time, but we've got a fantastic owner who's willing to spend a lot of money. And when you spend money, expectations should be to win at least something, whether that means Carabao Cup, FA Cup, Champions League, wherever it is. Okay, the expectation should still be there. I don't think our fall off is on the same level as what Liverpool was for 2 decades. I don't think it's like Arsenal. I don't think it's like any of these clubs.
We wouldn't be falling off like this if it wasn't for the complete ineptitude of the previous board for the last 5-6 years. Really, we have been riding the wave, winning. I'm not going to say pointless trophies because the Champions League isn't pointless, but going on cup runs that papers over the cracks. And our fan base has just leapt it up. Think that's fine. We're going further away from the league each year, slowly, not competing. But that's fine. We've won the odd cup, which is fine. As a fan, we like success. We like cups. I'm not going to complain about the fan base of that. But now, apart from a small minority, which I was generally a part of, criticising the old board, suddenly now everyone wants to complain about Vialli, even though he's been in for 2 weeks. They want to complain about Poto, who's only been 3 months. They want to complain about Bowley, who's only been here 5 months. But yeah, I heard none of this with Marina, but Bruce.
That's a lie. That's a lie. You heard that about Marina.
The amount of times I had to argue on Twitter to people that just loved, and it would always be the idea that, oh, but it's Roman that's in charge. And yeah, Roman was in charge, but Roman, he last 4 or 5 years completely let it all slip. The last 4 or 5 years have been Marina and Buck ruining Chelsea in terms of we haven't sorted the midfield out, which is the most crucial part of the team in 5 years.
Matt, are you saying that Chelsea fans are myopic? Is that what you're saying? Because that's a given. Chelsea fans are morons. They don't know what they're talking about.
Well, that's what I'm saying. This is why I honestly think we have one of the worst fan bases.
Oh no, it's not just that we're one of the worst. We're the most entitled.
That's a fact.
We're the most entitled because we had a rich Russian owner that just bought our success. I mean, and it allowed everybody to feel like, oh yeah, we deserve all this. We deserve all this. Fuck off, deserve. Fuck off, deserve. You don't deserve any of this.
I kind of understand it from people like my age and lower. I kind of understand it. I don't agree with it, but I understand that that's all they've known. That's what they've been born into. Yeah. But when you get the 40, 50-year-olds that have gone through that, and I'm like, how do you not understand? Like, it's not even the Man United of this world. No one is entitled to be top of the table. You've got to work to be top of the table. If you're not good enough at that point, you're not good enough. That's it. And this comes with the whole Super League thing, and that's why I didn't like it. No one's entitled to be in the Super League for donkeys and donkeys and donkeys years. If you're not good enough to be in the Super League like Tottenham, Arsenal were at the time, you don't deserve. If you're not with this new Champions League thing where if your coefficient, which is all load of bollocks anyway, if your coefficient is high enough and you don't get in the Champions League, you can get put back into the Champions League. No, if you don't qualify for Champions League, that's it. You don't qualify because you're not good enough. No one is entitled to get any sort of role. You work hard to get it or you don't. And unfortunately, behind the scenes, it's not been good enough for the last 4 or 5 years. And we are paying the price now.
Hey, Matt, I want to say one thing because a lot of people are saying Potter out and that this is on the manager. Okay. If you look, I'm not one that makes excuses. I was a coach. I thought very hard about every lineup that I put out because it matters, right? It affects people's psyches. It affects how they feel about the game. You know, I'm talking about the players. I get it. But people that think that this is on Potter is simply ridiculous. 10 players, 10 first-team players are out. And Sadiq, Matt, Alfred, Sindra, KJ, sorry, baby, but the players that you put out, they matter. It's not just the system. It's not just the formation and the philosophy. It matters who you put out. Yes. And if we simply don't have the personnel, then I don't know what manager in the world would do better than what Potter is doing right now because I see what he's trying to do. We're playing faster switches than we did under Tuchel. We're playing much better combinations in the final third than we did under Tuchel. Like, I know what Potter is trying to do, but if he signed up for a job where Reece James is available, if he signed up for a job where Wesley Fofana is available, because that's a big duo, that's a huge right side duo that should be one of the best in the world. One of the best in the world, if not the best in the world. This is what Graham Potter signed up for. And if he can't exercise his philosophy under the guise of those players, then I don't know what you expect him to do. And the problem with British fans, Sadiq, the problem with British fans is that you guys blame the manager too much. And you guys don't blame the players enough. You blame the manager too much, and you don't blame the players enough.
And there's one thing, sorry to cut you off. Going back to Collington's point, I don't think there was 10 injuries the entire time. I think obviously these injuries have been.
There has been at least 4 to 5 injuries
every game. Every game.
Okay, but I feel like there was only 2 or 3 permanent ones that were always out, like your Ben Chilwells and your Fofanas. Yeah, and I think it's still the manager's job to motivate these players because, for me, most games they don't look motivated. The Man City ones is one that I thought cool.
Yeah, but Sadiq, this would be fine if this was the first manager that was struggling to motivate players.
Seriously.
But this is the 4th or 5th manager in a row that struggled to motivate
these
players.
It's not the same.
Yeah, but also look at who's the captain. Who's been the captain the whole time? Who's been the captain the whole time?
The bulk of the players are the same. There's players that have come in and players that come out. But the thing is, a mentality is not just you bring in a couple players and that mentality changes. You have to rip a team apart and completely start it afresh to change that mentality. And as Carly is going to say, the mentality does come down from the captain. And that's what I question Azpilicueta for when he's a captain, because all these mentality problems have come under his leadership and not under John Terry's. And that speaks to it.
Because he's not a leader. He's not. Look, I was a captain, Matt, so I can personally speak to this. I was a fucking captain, and guess what? I screamed at everybody.
Yeah,
I screamed at everybody. I played defensive midfielder, and I screamed at everybody. And guess what? If you're not doing that, you're not doing your job. It's not personal. It is your job.
Because
it's your job.
Effectively, the captain is effectively the manager on the pitch. You cannot have certain players rolling you over on the pitch. If the player's not doing anything, you've got to go and tell that player, you're fucking shite. Pick it up, or the manager's going to take you off. But Azpilicueta will not do that. And that's why he's a nice player.
How do you know that? How do you know that?
Because I've seen him not do it.
You watch the players. Azpi does not, apart from the odd moment where he does it, I think, for the show.
You guys have player cammed him for 90 minutes straight.
KJ, he's just yelling at the refs, dog. He's just yelling at the refs.
KJ, how can you see on TV what he's doing?
All right. You guys are amazing. If you guys have seen this for 90 minutes.
That's what I'm saying. How do you guys know?
Hold on. KJ, I've been to a couple of games.
What games?
And certain. Let me go back. There was one on the Sarri season.
Okay.
Was that the first year he was captain?
Exactly. Thank you.
Are you defending Azpi?
No,
I'm not defending, but I think
I'm defending.
not telling the truth.
No, but I've always said
you guys are both morons.
I've always said that
you're a bozo.
I am a bozo. I am a bozo.
The second Azpi's captain, I didn't agree with it because I don't see him as captain material. He was just an experienced member of the dressing room at the time. Which experienced member of the dressing room doesn't mean you're captain.
Yeah.
Only
okay, that's fine.
Very few players can be captain. So anyway, the game I watched, I remember I watched specifically how Azpi was running the game. Obviously, you watched the game, but I was watching how Azpi run the game, and we actually lost the game at the time. I remember because I was really pissed off on the train home. There was a lot of people pissed off on the train home. But Azpi was just not vocal enough.
Make Kepa captain.
You watch John Terry. He is constantly picking up his players and going, if you don't pick it up, I'm kicking you up the arse myself.
Yeah. Bro, one day a documentary is going to be made by Chelsea. And the players are going to have testimonies about Azpilicueta. And when those players say he was a good captain, I'm going to clip that and send it to you every
KJ. He's got cold name for reason.
Put it over him the whole time.
Oh my guys, but listen, you're a captain on and off the pitch. What you guys see on the pitch, fair enough. If you have that experience and that perception of him, cool. But off the pitch, you don't know what he's like. We're out here scrutinizing a man that's been captain for so long. And he's a foreign captain as well, bear in mind.
Well KJ, I can judge it off the pitch because there is a mentality problem in the squad, and that comes down from the captain and the manager. The manager's changed every single time. Well, no, but obviously a mentality is a whole team, but in terms of how your mentality is made in your team, it's like the coach is your teacher, and effectively the captain is also a teacher. The teacher is the one that has the classroom authority, and how a classroom runs, it's how the teacher runs it. If you've got a weak mentality as a captain or a weak mentality as a manager, then it's going to feed off onto the rest of the other players. And unfortunately, I don't think Azpi as good of a player as he was, and I do like Azpi, I just don't think he's captain material.
All right,
but
Matt,
he just doesn't have that steel to be a captain, and that has shown.
Man, look, KJ, I hear what you're saying, KJ, about the backroom stuff, because a lot of it is off field. A lot of it is him, talking to players that are struggling, him talking to the manager, him talking to the staff. Like, this guy needs to operate as basically like a CEO, a general manager, right? As in terms of player perspective, like he needs to go and be a friend to these people. I get what you're saying, KJ, that we don't see what he does off the field. I don't give a fuck about that. I care about what he does on the field. All right. And what he does on the field is not a lot, because there's not a lot of leadership. I see him yelling at the refs. I don't see him yelling at the players. And his job is to yell at the players. It's not a personal thing. It's not a personal thing, KJ, though. It's not a personal thing. It's his job to instruct. He doesn't instruct. That's the job.
But I should go for the manager as well.
Yes,
I
if you
understand that,
point
but
the
he is their
managers every
manager on the
time.
field. He's the manager on the field.
But Sadiq,
Yeah, but
the
on the
managers have
touchline,
changed
I have
every
never
time.
seen Graham Potter once yell at the players.
Either Conte, Sarri, Lampard, Tuchel, and Potter all install bad mentalities in their teams, or it comes from the captain and then the players.
But and can I also say about what you're saying there about you haven't seen Potter shouting at the players? That's because he doesn't like that way of approach as a coach. He thinks about their psychic and mentality because he had that philosophy and stuff and his managerial way from Ostersund, where he inflicted like that kind of way that he wouldn't shout and like be like rude to the players because it kind of ruined their mood on the field, and that's why Potter has said that he doesn't want that way of coaching.
Guys, sorry to cut you guys off. We've got some
Yep.
breaking news. But before I get into breaking news, everyone just say yes or no to NS Sports question. Should David Fofana be an automatic starter?
No,
Well, no. Why would he be?
they will from what I've heard they will assess him because he's currently on a break because the season hadn't started yet in Norway, so he's currently on a break, and then they will give him time in training, and then they will assess if he's going out on loan or if he will stay with the team. In my opinion, I hope he stays because he deserves it. In my opinion, he should at least be given a chance in the first team with Aubameyang not performing and Havertz not performing at a striker, at least not every game. He should.
Yo, Sinjay, all I wanted was a yes or no, bro.
Yeah. That's kind of
Yo, are you saying that Sindra should have been born in the 1600s? There should have been a Shakespearean actor. I got my soliloquy here.
Bro,
My soliloquy.
This is Minerals JR. Minerals JR, fam.
No, he needs to become Johnny Minerals and have his own channel where he can talk to no one for 3 hours.
Hey, at least I'm more sensible than that guy.
Hey,
Let's
let's
very
keep it
fair.
PG, guys. Let's keep it PG and respectful, please, guys.
We do not always have to keep it respectful. Please disregard what Sadiq just said.
Guys, let's get into this news here, of course.
Yeah, let's do it.
Fabrizio Romano, Chelsea are having some contacts. Let's understand this context. Some context.
Some contacts.
Okay.
Oh my god.
To discuss the conditions to sign Marcus Thuram. Chelsea really like him and are speaking to Thuram's side and Gladbach.
Sadiq, is that not the most flaccid report you've ever read in your life?
Look, I'm gonna start
some contacts. Hey, by the way, Chelsea really likes him. There's some contacts. Oh my god, you gotta be kidding me.
We have to understand this. We have to understand this, guys. Some context to discuss. This is where we're going with journalism. Obviously, it's good for me to make content. Don't get me wrong, but we have to understand these words. Like we're saying, breaking. I get it. The algorithm on Twitter, likes and retweets, but some context, guys, to discuss the conditions. What does that actually mean? Like, let's think
it means shit.
It means nothing.
What does that actually mean?
No, KJ, please elaborate.
Bro, can I tell you something, right? Whenever a third party says some condition, some context, some anything, that means they don't know what happened. They just know based on something else that something was done, which is usually false 9 out of 10 times. Yeah. This is literally just what PR and media do to recover from any sort of shortcoming that they've had, i.e. Enzo Fernandez. Don't listen to this. Do not at all costs listen to this. This is literally just another smokescreen. If we get Thuram, great. He's a great player. I love him from Gladbach. But the problem is they probably rate him the same way as Benfica rate Enzo Fernandez. If we get him out, my mind will be blown.
I think his contract is also expiring, so I think it will be cheap.
It's a different situation, but I hear what KJ's saying.
Yeah, I completely agree. I feel most of like this kind of news is just generally for one thing, and that clicks. Like the breaking news, click to get people to read the article or read the news and then go off it. And
But why are we even looking at this guy? What? Because he had a decent World Cup.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that. This is also one thing I hope like Chelsea improve on. Like we have of course now implemented a good new scouting system that they took from Brighton with Potter. That will hopefully was going to do more analytical analysis of players and look at how they're doing and how they can fit into Chelsea. I feel like some of this is still the same way how the old board and how we sign old players to what we're doing now with some of the signings like we did in the summer, and now like where is the analytical part of it? Of course, it's taking time because they need to be implemented and get their time to do their job. But still, we can't just look at players and say, we're gonna sign him because he had a fairly decent World Cup for France when he wasn't even a starter for them.
That's what it seems right now to me with this news. I mean, I'm not going to get excited anymore about these news, but some context is a bit mad still. I mean, Carlito used to love these type of sources, which I'll let him elaborate.
Sadiq, can I speak on this just for a second?
That's why I brought you in. I'm just saying.
Okay. All right. So I look. Number one, Ben Jacobs never said anything about Enzo signing with Chelsea. If you want to trust someone that is very, very cognizant about not committing to false reports. Ben Jacobs is the best journalist in football. All right, Sadiq, I will tell you a quick 2-minute story about what a source really is. All right? I used to work
2 minutes. Are you sure? 2 minutes.
I'm sure. All right?
All right.
I look, I support a local club where I live. It's a professional soccer team in the MLS. All right. I used to work for that club. The person that is the general manager of that club, I went to elementary school with. That person also worked for my father's media company, CBS, for 10 years. This is a family friend. This is someone I've known for 27 years. So yesterday, there was a Venezuelan player that my club that I support locally wanted to keep. He was on loan. I wanted him to be kept. I wanted us to buy him permanently. I texted the general manager of the professional football team that I love, and I said, are we keeping said player? He said, no. The player is so good that his parent club wants to keep him. Okay, got it. Sadiq, that is a source. And if I want to know about the club that I support, maybe even more than Chelsea, I will simply text the general manager, what are we fucking doing? And if I don't get him, I will ask the media director, who's one of my best friends. Okay? I will ask those people. That's an actual source. Mm-hmm. So when you have these Felix Johnstons or these people trying to be, 17-year-old pseudo-journalists or all these YouTubers that say they have sources at Chelsea, I promise you, they don't. They don't. It is all conjecture. It is all speculation. They are fucking lying. Because unless they went to elementary school with Christian Vivel, then they don't have sources. This is all conjecture. And when they say, my guy at Chelsea, my guy at Cobham, my guy is not the DoorDash driver that delivers Nando's to Reece James every Friday. I'm sorry. That's not a source. That's just the delivery driver that delivers Nando's to Reece James every Friday. It's not a source. It's not a source. These guys don't have sources.
Zero.
That's bang on 2 minutes. Bang on 2 minutes.
Baby, that's enough time.
Bang on 2 minutes. I can't believe it. Oh my days, that's bang on 2 minutes on the dot.
Fair play, Carlito.
Oh my.
By the way,
days.
hey, Sindra and everybody on the panel, these guys don't have sources. They're full of shit.
Shit.
Full
Alfred,
of it.
what are you gonna say?
I completely agree. Like, I can't stand this sort of stuff anymore. It just fucking sucks. Like, just shut up. Honestly, this whole apparently according to reports, this guy said, that guy said. No, I'm not paying attention to anything anymore until either Fabrizio says, here we go. And even with that, I'm not much, but a tiny bit skeptical sometimes. Because apparently he's got a one or two wrong. But until I see player holding up the Chelsea shirt, that's when I will believe, that a player is going to play for it. So that's it, because there's just too much of this shit now, and it's
Hey,
so,
Alfred, can I
so
appease your
boring.
mind a little bit? Andre
Sure.
Santos is wearing the Chelsea shirt by virtue of the official Chelsea account. And I'll tell you one thing, Alfred, and I'll tell you this as a fact.
Yes.
This player is a motherfucking baller.
Yeah, like I want
That's
to
right.
ask you guys one thing when you're talking about like Alvarez and Fernandez and stuff earlier in the stream. Like, would you guys prefer if we went in for Alvarez or we bought fucking
Oh, he swore! He swore! Oh, he swore!
Hey,
I just got
Hey,
a brain
Henry.
freeze.
I'm your uncle. Don't swear in front of me, Doug.
You bloody bastard! You bloody bastard!
Zakaria. Should we go for Alvarez or should we just sign Zakaria? I know Zakaria is like 1 or 2 years older, but he's also going to be like 15 to 20 million cheaper than what Alvarez is.
Ooh, so yeah, I mean Matt, Sadiq, I mean anybody open forum on that one. I think that we're basically reinventing our midfield, so options should always be considered. And I think that it's 3 positions, right? I mean, we want 6 players for that. So regardless of whether Denis Zakaria starts or not, I think Denis is awesome, and I think that he was probably the best player on the field. Manchester City versus Chelsea, I thought he was the best player on the field. And dude,
He dominated.
I like what 20 mil. I mean, to keep him, even if he's not a starter, who cares? He's good. We know he's good.
Yeah,
Squad depth definitely.
Yes,
absolutely.
And from what we can see, we know what he can do. And if we need him to, in my opinion, he could be like a John Obi Mikel. Like if we need him to just shut the door, sit in front of the defense, and just be a menace, because he is extremely fast. He's, in my opinion, underrated on the ball. We can see that from how he just how it took on 3 players. He had 3 players around him, and he still kept the ball. He's
so we don't need Declan Rice.
No,
in my opinion,
We're gonna sign him. We don't sign him,
if we sign him,
what are you saying, KJ? What are you saying,
bro. Listen, this is one story that's never gonna die, bro. I feel like we're gonna get Rice eventually.
Like,
I feel like
I would rather have Rice than let him go to another rival, because if he goes to another rival, because he could turn out to be one of the best midfielders in the world.
We've got Zakaria. Come on, guys, man.
Yeah, but midfield.
Sadiq, you're not being genuine right now. You're being disingenuous. Why are you trolling? Why are you trolling? Why are you trolling?
Serious. We don't need Rice. Honestly, we don't need Rice.
Can I tell you the difference between Zakaria and Rice? Declan Rice is more polished as a player. I think and Khalid was very right. We're reinventing the midfield, but I think the club is also looking for a natural DM or someone that can support the number 8, while in addition looking for the number 8. Someone like Lampard and Mikau, essentially. Someone that can Mounts. Let's calm down on that.
Hey, KJ, don't let him interrupt you with trolling. You keep going.
But those are the types of players we're looking for, and I think Rice fits that mold. Zakaria is good though. He's got potential one-decade energy. He's not as polished as Rice is at the moment, and I think that's what the club is looking at right now. But personally, if I were Graham Potter right now, I'd finish out the season just playing Zakaria as much as he can, just so he can fit in the mold and the system that he wants right now. Because it's clear that we're reinventing the system right now, and we have nothing to play for anyway. So for me personally, I'd stick with Zakaria and just let him play out for the rest of the season.
So, KJ, are you saying that we need to do this because we want to sign him permanently?
Bro, I feel like it's the only way, because I look at players like Saul, and when you kind of put them side by side, obviously Zakaria is a better player by far.
He's a better player.
Sorry, kid. Zakaria reminds me of when we loaned Kovacic from Real Madrid.
Exactly.
Kovacic was a really good loan move, because he wasn't getting game time at Madrid, because look at that midfield at the time, Modric, Casemiro, and Cruz, but he was still an unbelievable player, and we bought him for 40 million. In my opinion, That's a bargain now.
Yeah, it is. And, yeah, but KJ, I feel as though, and I don't want to speak for you, but I feel as though if he continues to play, we're definitely going to buy him. Now, again, I'm not saying he's going to start because I still think the Enzo Fernandez deal is going to happen. I do still think if we want that D-mid, I still do think we're going to get Enzo. Now, we're not going to get Enzo in the way that we want, which is 85 million euros, but I still think we're going to get him. But that does not discount us still wanting Zakaria. Like, this is not a flash in the pan. Like, he showed up against the best team in the world. And not only that, he was better than the midfielders on City. Gundogan, who's a great player, should have been Man City Player of the Year last year. He did nothing. Nothing. It wasn't just the offensive side of the ball that Denis was great at. It was the defensive side as well. He was just comprehensively good.
He was
Like, bro,
Conte
the guy was unfazed. And so I just look, whether he starts or not, I still just think that we should sincerely consider buying him from Juventus.
No, we should 100%.
Juventus will they'll get bonus for him because they've signed him for free, I think, and they need the money, and we get a quality player who can also be a squad player when we eventually buy new midfielders.
Yeah.
So it's a win-win for both clubs.
Yeah.
Well said, Sindri. Guys, before we wrap up as well, I just want to say there's more news on Marcus Thuram. The reason why this news is coming out is because he's a free agent in June as well, by the way.
That's what I thought, and that's why I said he's going to be cheap.
And Chelsea might look to try and do.
Who said that? Who said that? That was hilarious.
I'm assuming that you know who I was.
I know exactly what you're doing, buddy.
There you have it, folks. Carlito, Alfred with a masterclass towards the end. Great stream, of course, but we're going to wrap it up here, people. Thank you, everyone that tuned in. Make sure you guys like the video and subscribe. We are back tomorrow after the City game at full time. So make sure you guys come and join us on there. Big up Matt, Carlito, Alfred, Sindre, and KJ, of course, will join me today. And hope to see you guys very soon, man. Take care, you lot.
Take care.
Peace.
Have a lovely day. Take care. And don't forget to like and subscribe.
Yes.